Oh, hello again, all you capitalist pigs, you greedy, money-grubbing traders. I know some people actually get angry at me when I say that. They you send me emails and they say, "Yeah, I'm not a capitalist pig. I'm not greedy, money-grubbing." It's a term of endearment. It's actually making fun of all the people who think that those of us who trade for a living are greedy capitalists and all we're concerned with is making money. So it's a pun. It's a play on words. It is not intended to offend. So please don't be offended. And please, if you are offended, please don't send me an email. But anyway, guys, everybody, welcome back. My name is Jason Stapleton. This is Triple Threat Trading, and this is the Forex Market Preview. For those of you joining us for the first time this week, thank you so much for doing so. I'm very glad you're here. And for those of you who continue to return again and again and again each week, thank you so much because you are the reason that I do what I do every single week. We are going to go through the market here, and I'm going to take a look at some things. And we are a couple of hours from liftoff here. The market's opening back up, and I, of course, have not prepped myself well enough. So I'm going to kind of do it while we're sitting here. So you guys are going to kind of see how my analysis runs. And I'm going to do this quickly. So if you guys are not catching on and you're not really getting what I'm doing, don't worry, because we will. It's not all that important. I got some stuff in here from the last time we did this analysis. 9403s is where that pullback, we're looking for that pullback to occur. Double tops here. We're looking at Swissy yen on the 4-hour chart. Double tops here. Double tops held for the duration of the week. We see the initial top coming in here. Bam, right there. And holding. Double top. Looking at the RSI at the bottom of your screen. If I can get it here. Max that back out again. Double top coming in. Not a whole lot of bearish divergence there, but there is some back here. There's a little bit in here. So not a lot of divergence on this trade, but definitely a little bit. So we've got, well, actually not a whole lot. That's pretty much straight across on the RSI. A lot of people say, well, isn't there always divergence every time you have a double top? Sometimes no, sometimes there's not. You look at the RSI down here, that's pretty much an equal shot as that market rallied, which means we rallied on some strength. But at the open, this is a very, very low risk short entry because your risk can go just above that high. Now, depending on where we gap, you may or may not want to buy in. You may want to sell a gap fill or something like that. But you've got this area here where if this market opens up close to where it closed for last week, man, you've got a very, very low risk, and you're looking at a potential payoff. Market. Let's say we open right on a dime, right on where we left off. We know the support level comes in around 9,400 even. That's going to be about where your resistance level is. So look at your risk. I mean, your risk stops right above the spike high. Hey, if we end up going higher above this double top for the week, I know I don't want to be involved in the trade. So I can look at this Swissy trade right off the bat and say, hey, look at that. I'll take that all day long. Risk reward. Bam. If it works one time out of 5, I'm going to make money. And so that's kind of the way we look at these trades, and we look for these, these technical indicators, these technical chart patterns that set up. And this is just a simple double top, no divergence. Let's look left, see if we can find. Let's go out to a daily chart and see if there's any structure out here. We'll go ahead and this is the way I like to do this. I'll jump out to a daily chart or something like that. I'll go ahead and I'm looking at the resistance level there that we were watching. I'm just going to go ahead and drop a line in here. Boom. So now I know where that line is. Now I'm going to scrunch my chart up here. And I'm going to look left and see if there's any resistance levels in here that I want to concern myself with. And there is a little bit. It's actually just a hair higher if we want to get particular about it. Come on. It's actually coming in about right there. Got a little dip there, supports in there, supported right there, supported right there. So there's a little bit in here. And it comes in around 96.52, which if I go back down to my 4-hour chart, you're going to see there's that 95.62 right there, about 50% from our entry to our target. So this makes this a really, really nice shorting opportunity. And again, I don't normally talk about targets and stop losses when we talk about the Forex market preview because this is more my attempt to show you kind of some thought processes rather than give you trading calls. That's not what this is designed to do. But in a situation like this, you can see how I analyze this market and can really quickly pick out, hey, there's a really nice trading opportunity. Short Swiss yen at the open. Looking at Canada here, we're still waiting on that 3 drives. Those of you who follow us every week, we were looking for the 3 drives. Didn't break out to the upside here. You can look at the channel that the market was in. Did not break out of that channel. But normally what we would expect to see here, traders, is when we get a breakout like that, those of you, the insiders are familiar with the 2618 trade that we run. And you would have expected this market to come down here and then rally back up into previous support, which should now become resistance. That did not happen. That was broken. Market shot up, then pulls all the way back, and now a lot of volatility. As you guys know, on Friday there was a massive amount of volatility. Those of you who follow me on Facebook know that I was looking for the euro to kind of get some dollar strength on the euro dollar, and that initially happened after the numbers came out in the U.S. The unemployment numbers came out, but then immediately reverse direction when the European Union announced the deal with Greece. And so there's a lot of news events that were happening in there. Very, very volatile situation. And in that case, it can cause the market to do some things that it otherwise wouldn't do. And those can be temporary or permanent. And it's difficult to kind of make that determination. And so what we have to do is look at the chart and make a judgment call based on what we're seeing technically. So normally this would have been a short right around here. But the market just blew right through that, and so now I'm still looking for these 99.20s. I still think that 3 drives pattern, there's actually an advanced pattern in here that I won't get into right now, but definitely 3 drives pattern up into that 99.20s, so you guys can be watching that as well, as I will be. Let's take a look at pound yen. Let's go 4-hour with it. Yeah, that thing's rolled all the way over. Let's see what we're looking at here. Not a lot there that I want to play other than maybe an ABCD back down into support, so we won't worry about that too much. Swissy is just on a straight decline. We continue to roll further and further over until I see some consolidation, some channeling in the Swissy. I'm not a long Swissy player, and since I trade counter trade or counter trend, I'll be basically looking for a rally back up into 85.66. That'll be a resistance level. I can look to short there, but as of right now, with this thing just continuing to roll over, this is not my trade. Swissy's not my trade. Euro dollar back up again. We've rallied back up into an area. 146.50s is really the last stop in here. You can see kind of the support that was touched there. There's a little. It's just. I mean, if you see the spike right here that came in, those of you who. You see this spike that came in right here. If I drop down to a 60-minute, you'll see it even clearer. Whoops. Hang on here. I don't know what just happened there, but. And I collapse this 60-minute chart up here, you're going to see even clearer this kind of spike right here. That is, well, and you could even, this is really it right here. Sorry guys, I don't mean to confuse anybody here, but when I do the analysis real time, it can be a little bit tricky. There's your spike and your pullback. There's your support right back up against that. So where we're at, we're just short of that right there, 146.50s. 146.50s, if that is breached, that's the last hurrah on the euro before we go back out to a 4-hour chart now, before we go back up and test this support level here. That'll be the next stop, 147.80s. Because this market has just been on a tirade. You look at that candle, that 4-hour candle after the news event came out. Channeling, then we had U.S. news that happened right here. I'll show you here on the lower time frame chart. U.S. news event, boom, market pulls back, everything's looking good, and then Eurozone comes out with their Greek plan, and bam, the market rolls the other direction. And so, just short of that kind of that last resistance level to see if the market gives any ground there. But we closed, if you go out to the daily chart here, we closed, I'm right at the top 3% of that candle. The likelihood of this market, doing a complete reversal is atypical, be out of the ordinary, but doesn't mean that it won't. We're running 10 minutes now. I'll see if I can find something else that might be valuable to trade here. Let's see here. Looking around, X to A to B, B to C. Let me run a couple of ratios here and check this out. There's a 786, 618, potential 786, 618. Yep. All right. Potential butterfly pattern here, maybe, on pound. This is on a daily chart. Whoops, let me get my line tool out. X to A to B, B to C, and C to D, going to come right back into that about 159's area. And that's going to give us a little butterfly pattern. Now the 127 extension is probably going to come a little bit short of that. Nope, right on it. 127 extension coming in right on that. So 127 extension, 158.73. Basically 159s is where we'd be looking for if this market decides to roll over. And again, this is conditional on the fact that this market does press lower. But I got a little bit of support level in there. Looking back, it's a general support level, not very thick, but there's definitely a pattern formation setting up there on the pound. This is a pound dollar on the daily chart. Let's look here again. That's another panel I have double of that. Euro yen, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago about maybe a Gartley or a crab pattern and where the stops needed to go. Stops would have held on this, and we're starting to see a little bit of rally out of Euro yen. So for those of you who took this pattern formation, as you know, when you take those long entries at the 127 extension, stops have to go below X, and in this case would have been saved by that stop, and now market looking to move higher. Euro yen on the daily chart, we'd expect that to continue. Take a look. New Zealand dollar on the 4-hour. Nothing there for right now. Aussie. Looking at the Aussie dollar. We're looking for an ABCD down there. Didn't get it. Now we're looking for, well, butterfly bat pattern just completed there. Don't worry about that. That's your Swissy. And guys, that's going to be it. So that's going to do it. So it looks like Swissy yen, really nice risk reward there at the open. If we gap up, here's the condition here. Here's the condition I make, and I don't normally talk about this stuff when I do the forex market preview, but I will hit you with this one this time. If we gap above, what is this here? Let me get my crosshairs out. If we gap above 96.38. If we gap above the high of this candle, the high came in, hang on a minute, let me make sure I got this right. The high came in 96.35. If we gap above 96.35, I will not take this short position. If we gap above 96.35, I will not take that short position. If, however, we do gap above that, that makes this a really, really attractive trade. And something that would definitely interest me. You could even, roll your stops up a little bit higher if you wanted to add a little bit of extra protection to this, and still your risk-reward profile on this thing is ridiculous. So use your own judgment, use your own skill as a technician, and make your own trading decisions. A little disclaimer here before we cut away is that nothing that I do here is advice to buy or sell anything. I do not want you trading off. If you're trading off of my information alone, it is because you are too inexperienced to be trading, period. So if you're using the analysis because you want to learn a little bit about what we do here, that's great. If you're using this analysis in conjunction with your own trading strategy that you've spent years refining and that you've been practicing and that you've tested and you've found to be viable, then terrific. But don't be making trading decisions solely upon what you see here, because that is not what this is for. This is educational. I want to teach you guys what I know about trading and show you guys some key setups, some stuff that may help you in your own decision-making process, not only on how to make trading decisions, but also help you learn the skill of trading, which is my love and my passion. So, again, for those of you who this is the first time you're joining us, thank you so much. Really appreciate all your time here and what you the time that you invest with me, and hope to see you back here again. And if you are one of the more than 40,000 people now who receive this email every single week, well, thank you so much for coming back. And until next time, good luck and good trading. We'll be back here next week.